Hi guys, and welcome back to LPB Racing on Project Cars 2 for the Mixed Championship Race 2 of Round 3 at Watkins Glen. This time it's rain and possibly a bit of light rain near the end, we'll see. But yeah, rain conditions in this race, and we're off as we all come down towards the first corner in the Radicals. Footman was on pole position, gets a good start, Jamo alongside. Here we go into the first corner, James Deluxe there we look at. In fourth place alongside Neil Farmack into third place. Stevie gets it a bit wrong on exit, but I think he got away with it and we've got a car in the wall there in the background. I think that was Neil Farmack just rubbing the guardrail a little bit as we come up the S's and then avoid this puddle on the inside. We don't want any spinners, and if we can avoid it, as Team Green running in unison. 6th and 7th, blatantly behind Keith. Into the chicane. Watching Team Green there still as we filter through the chicane. Not as much water this time, but still enough to catch Keith out. And another car in the background as well. Azadar Blake was around the outside of Keith there. So Keith going backwards after a little mistake. It's all it takes. TY close behind him now as we come down towards the Azadar Blade on the grass. Got to watch out for that. Don't want to run too wide, which he is doing. But there is the difference between going wide and then too wide, as TY still together with Keith. Bidzster having a look at TY as well behind. Bidzster having a little look as we come up the hill. TY up goes wide. Bidzster and Lillian goes through. And TY getting caught out a little bit there behind Keith as we look back at the leaders. Jamo right behind Footman, keeping a good close eye on Footman. I know they're both in white cars, but it's only Footman that's in Team White. Jamo's running independent this race this season. As we look a bit more in the Footman's still in the lead. Just behind there we've got Neil and Stevie close together. Neil up the inside of Stevie into the last corner. Not as many puddles in this one, so they can take more of an inside line. Neil gets the position. Meanwhile, Bidzster behind in 8th place. Lillian heading for the pits. Oh, and that's too fast into the pit lane, and that'll be a disqualification from the race. You've really got to watch your pit lane's entry speed. So Lillian disqualified from the race for speeding in the pit lane. You've really got to watch out for that. If you've got damage that you've got to repair, get slowed down before that line. As we go around the top of the curve, Footman in the lead, Jamo and James Deluxe side by side coming down towards the chicane. Who's going to give up or who's going to get the place? And Jamo just keeps the place into the corner. So good driving there by them two. Good racing room by James Deluxe as well. He's proven himself to be a good racer, even in his it's only his second race in LPB racing, so we'll see how he goes from there. Meanwhile in the background there's TY catching up to Bidzster after making a few little mistakes on the opening lap, so he's caught up to the back of Bidzster now. So TY Bidzster around 100 and whatever it is, because there always seems to be in a battle, these two. It always is a good one. It's always worth watching as we go down the hill, up this really long right hander up the hill. Get the power on the car, squirming for grip. Meanwhile in the lead it's still Jamo in 2nd place, Footman in the lead. But the thing is, Jamo's got to watch out behind him. James Deluxe closing up. Neil Farmack closing up to him as well. I thought I saw Blatney and Azadar Blade quite close there as well. So they've got a couple of cars there with a potential battle on their hands. As we quickly go back to the leaders now again. So Footman in the lead, Jamo on the grass in 2nd place, but just about keeps it going. Jamo running as wide as he can to get as much of a line as he can. Meanwhile, Bidzster with TY behind him is caught up to Azadar Blade now, so we'll see what happens here. Bidzster drafting Azadar Blade down towards the first corner, which Azadar Blade goes defensive. Bidzster goes to the outside, onto the brakes, and just goes straight around the outside of Azadar Blade, who has to brake really early, and TY gets a bit held up there. That's not what he'll want, because Bidzster will be able to get ahead. Remember, these two really close together in the championship, so we've got to be careful there, as Footman still in the lead from Jamo in 2nd place. James Deluxe has gone backwards a little bit, must have made a mistake. Neil Farmack through to 3rd place. Stevie having a look now with the overspeed into the chicane. Will Stevie have a go? Of course you will. Stevie goes into 4th place. Got to watch it on that curbs, because she's running very tight there if you take an inside line. But Stevie keeps the car under control. Good pass there by Stevie. Blatantly there in 7th place with Bidzster hot on his heels. So Bidzster looking to get another place there. As we go into this long left downhill off camber near the exit. Got to watch out for the car running wide, a bit like Stevie's doing there. Stevie runs wide. And James Deluxe has a look around the outside, but no way through there. Cuts back to the inside for better traction up the hill, but no way through there. As we look behind as well, Blakeney and Bidzster close together. Blakeney defends the inside, Bidzster to the outside. TY and RZR close as well. I wish these cameras would zoom out a bit so we can actually see what's happening. TY through past RZR into 8th place, RZR back down to 9th. As we come out of the corner, Blakeney with Bidzster behind him still, James Deluxe behind Stevie. Bidzster, a little bit of a twitch there as we go around the corner. Blakeney runs wide onto the curb. As they come into the last corner, Blakeney gets a good run out of there and I think he's more or less going to keep the position down to this next corner because he's got a good run there. Let's have a look at Stevie and James Deluxe into the first corner. No change there. Blakeney and Bidzster. Come on, cameras, we should zoom out a bit so we can actually see what's happening. There's Blakeney coming up the hill. Oh, big crash! Big crash, couple of cars backwards. Oh, Stevie, I think that's Neil Farmack as well. Bidzster's involved as well. So, wow, everyone's spinning around there, trying to get going in the right direction, but Stevie with big damage there. I would imagine Bidzster and Neil with big damage there is really slow up the hill, so big crash there. We will get a replay on that crash. We'll get a replay. Okay, here's how that big crash started on lap 4. So Neil comes out of the first corner, gets on the curb, and then still trying to get the power down, spins into the wall. There he goes, spins and then recovers. Then spins as he recovers, and then bang! Stevie goes straight into him, and then Blakeney nowhere to go. Other cars scrambling left and right. Bidzster spins in avoidance, and then everyone trying to run into each other as we get going, and then that's how it started. So as we rejoin from that massive crash, Footman is still in the lead of this race by 0.7 of a second from Jamo. So Jamo keeping him honest here. So Footman with a good gap here. Let's hope he can keep it going. And if he does, he'll score his first win with LPB Racing. So it'll be good for Footman if he can do that. He just needs to hang on for these last 4 laps. Just got to keep it steady, keep it on the island. TY in 3rd place, RZR in 4th. Keith is up to 5th now. Just shows you, even if you've not got as much pace, which Keith hasn't really got in this car and track combination, not as much pace as he thought, but you've got to be in it to win it. You've got to keep it consistent. There's Stevie and Bidzster. So Stevie and Bidzster with a lot of damage, I would imagine. There's the exit at corner. Stevie getting the traction up the hill, and Bidzster behind. Just looking. I would imagine these two will probably go for the pits. Maybe Bidzster might. I'm not sure if Stevie will, but we'll see. As we've got Nick Hash behind as well, James Deluxe. So a lot of people gone backwards in this race. But we'll keep an eye on Jamo there, really pushing hard, just using a bit of the grass there. I think he was really trying to get the car out of there with good traction, but just ran a little bit wide. As they go out of there down the back straight, down towards the little loop at the end. So close stuff. Here we are, Stevie's going round. Bidzster slowed down into the pits. So Stevie into the pits. There's quite a few other people in the pits as well, I think. We've got Blakeney's there. So Blakeney unfortunately has had to retire from this race. So Blakeney, I think he's retired, but I can see the light still on the car. But Lilliam's definitely out. Blakeney there. Bidzster goes through in the pits there as well. There he is, James Deluxe coming up towards the last corner. So it's all got a bit confusing in this race because of the damage, but again, that's what happens. You've got to be careful with the car, and James Deluxe really there looks like he's got a severe look at the car crabbing. The car's crabbing one way, so he's got really bad suspension damage on that radical, so he'll be coming to the pits as well. So there's Bidzster. Yeah, Bidzster's getting the car serviced there. I'm not sure if Blakeney is. We'll keep an eye on him, but Blakeney's been there a while. So Neil Farmack there, around here somewhere. There he is, Neil Farmack. Oh, he's hugging the wall, so he's really got a lot of damage there, a lot of suspension damage. He's trying to crawl the car back to the pit lane. So Neil Farmack not doing very well in this race, and definitely being lapped now. Footman in the lead still by 1 second from Jamo, so still being kept honest. Footman going round. So got to be careful not to do that though, Footman. The puddles are gathering more and more, even though the rain's sort of dissipating, sort of rain, light rain. There's still a lot of puddles on track, So you've really got to watch your grip levels, adapt your line every single lap to make sure that you're okay. Stevie going round in 6th place there, being caught by Nick Hash. So Stevie's still trying to nurse that damage round. He's trying to nurse the damage and just keep going. Bidzster pitted to get rid of his damage. So there's Bidzster around here somewhere. There he is, Bidzster in 8th place. There he goes. James Deluxe in the pits to fix his damage now. Neil's not there yet. Blakeney must be out of this race now. He's been stood there a while. Blakeney out of this race now. Obviously Lillian got DQ'd before for speeding in the pit lane. So James Deluxe there getting his damage fixed. Has Neil made it back yet? No, he hasn't. Neil's still crawling round there. Neil really trying to crawl round back to the pits. So a bit more spread out now after that big incident. But Footman's still in the lead. You've got to really keep your focus in this wet weather, because the track will be drying out in some places, because the rain's sort of gone from normal rain to lighter rain. So obviously the track's still getting slightly wetter, but not as quick as it was. And it's all about how heavy the rain is compared to how much those wet weather tyres will be scrubbing the track clean. As they come up the hill, Jamo behind. Let's have a look at Jamo. There he is. I know they're in similar white coloured cars, but Jamo is an independent footman for Team White, so we'll see how this is going to pan out. So TY behind, 10 seconds behind, so he's closing, so you've got to really watch out for TY near the end of this race as well, because he's closing up very fast. He's got that car dialed in very well there. RZR Blade in 4th place. Again, you keep out of trouble and you reap the rewards. So RZR Blade in 4th place. Keith in 5th place. Definitely doesn't have the pace in this race, but you've got to be in the right place at the right time to be there within a chance of getting some points. To finish first you must finish. So Keith going by that saying and just keeping going. Nick Hash round here somewhere in 6th place. There he is. So Nick Hash having been caught up in a few incidents before as well. Bidzster out the pits with a fresh car. So Bidzster out the pits. He chose to go into the pits to repair it, and Stevie still crawling round. So obviously it's really paid off for Bidzster to actually go in the pits and repair it, because he's ahead of Stevie now. So Stevie going round the chicane. Unless Stevie's been in the pits as well, because it looks like his car has been recovered. So yeah, unless Stevie must have gone into the pits to repair. James Deluxe in 9th place there, still circulating after he's fixed his damage. So again, the damage really affecting people's races, but again, that's what it does in real life. You get damage on your car, you've got to come into the pits and repair it, and you lose maybe a lap or two. So it's up to you whether you want to crawl round or get it fixed. Neil Farmack finally has made it to the pit lane. It's in 10th place, so Neil Farmack in the pits. Blakeney definitely out the race now, because he's been stood there for 5 minutes. So Blakeney out of this race, unfortunately. Had to retire due to the amount of damage. Meanwhile, on the last lap of this race, lap 7 of 7, Footman coming around the last few corners. Just got to keep it neat and tidy around here now, and he'll score his first ever win with LPB Racing. So we'll see if he can keep it around this last few corners. Round the last corner, out onto the straight. Footman crosses the line to win his first race in LPB Racing. He's the winner of race 2. Congratulations to Footman. Jamo keeping him honest there in 2nd place. Good race there by them two. TY in 3rd position, bagged some decent points, so he'll catch up a bit to Bidzster in the point standings. RZR Blade is going to be 4th. We'll just watch him come around this last corner, make sure he gets round. RZR Blade in 4th position. Out of the last corner, there he goes. Keith, got to be in it to win it, or at least you've got to be in it to score some points. And Keith has just done just that. Been quite cautious, kept out of trouble, and reached the rewards. 5th place for Keith. Well done to Keith, 5th place. Nick Hash is going to be in 6th place there. Just got to get around this last corner, Nick, and you'll come on for 6th place points. There he goes, across the line in 6th position. Bidzster's coming up now. Bidzster's going to be in 7th place for definite now. Bidzster in 7th. Stevie is coming around here, but he's very slow. Stevie's very slow. They see the car crabbing slightly, so I don't even think Stevie's going to make it to the line. So Stevie might even not get any points in this race. And same with James Deluxe if he can't get to the line. I think, no, James Deluxe has crossed the line there, so that'll count as a, because he's been lapped, that'll count as a position as a finish. Bidzster's coming up to the line now, so Bidzster 30 seconds to get his points, and he should be he will do, he'll get out of this last corner. But Stevie, I don't think Stevie's going to get to the line before the timer runs out, so Stevie's going to get no points in this. Absolutely crawling round. Unless it's finished already, but I didn't see that, so we'll still. But the point standings now will confirm that. Okay, guys, let's take you through the point standings then. So Footman was your winner in that one. It's the first time winner in LPB racing for Footman. Good job there. By 1.2 seconds from Jamo, so he kept him honest all the way. Third place was TY, as we just switch over the page. And then it was RZR in 4th place for Team Red. Keith 5th place, so it just proves if you keep out of trouble, you get a good spot. Nick Hash in 6th place. And then Bidzster in 7th, Stevie 8th, James Deluxe in 9th position. Unfortunately, your DNFs and retirements are Neil Farmack 10th, Blakeney 11th, Lil Yam in 12th place. All DNF retired and DQ for Lil Yam because he sped in the pit lane and it disqualifies you for that. So there's your results, guys. But here's your winner, Footman, when the camera gets to us. We'll just rewind it a bit so we can see his picture on his car. There he is, there's Footman, first time winner in LPB racing. Congratulations, and we'll see you for race 3, guys. Take care.